Morning everybody and welcome to my car. My hair is an absolute mess today. I've just washed it, so it's going to be all frizzy. It's probably going to get crazier as the video gets on. We're in my car today because we're going to do one of my favourite things in the whole entire world. I'm going to a book sale. I used to do this all the time in New Zealand. I had a massive collection of books. I've always loved being surrounded by books. I am always reading something. It is like my little guilty pleasure. And I'm so excited. I have not been to a book sale since like well before I even decided that I was moving to Australia, because obviously I had to stop buying books before I left New Zealand. Regardless, we're going to a book sale. Apparently this one is really, really big. It's being held in like a pavilion in town, and I've seen photos of like some of the other setups because I think they travel around and they do it in different cities. So apparently this one's pretty big. There's also meant to be some clothing there too. From what I have read online, it is books from 20 cents each and clothing from $2. I think there's also like some vendors that do like food and drinks and stuff like that. So we're gonna go and have a look. I have exceedingly high hopes. They may be crushed, and you know what? That's okay. We're still gonna go, and I'm just gonna hope for the best. I am being quite selective with what I buy because I do have a Kindle now, so a lot of the books that I used to have physically, I'm now buying on Kindle. So quite a few authors that are popular that I used to find books for at book sales, I am like specifically not buying those. So I'm wondering if I'm actually gonna come home with anything. I'm gonna come home with something. That's not even a... I am trying to be selective. Trying. Yeah, but let's go. I'm so excited. I have my little, I bought a tote bag because I used to go to book sales all the time and I would never bring a bag and I would just walk around with like a handful of books struggling. So I bought my little Uncle Iroh's tea shop tote bag. We're gonna go and smash it. I'm so excited. I have arrived and like the building is technically not this one, it's the next one back. But I've had to park like all the way around the opposite side of the block, so I'm gonna have to walk like all the way back around to get there. There are so many cars here. Like, I knew it was going to be a big one, but I did not expect that there was going to be this many people. Like, yeah, I've been to book fairs. The ones that I used to go to in New Zealand were very, very small. And even I did go to one big one that was quite busy, but it was nothing like this. So I'm slightly overwhelmed already. I'm wondering if it's going to be like loud and crowded, or, you know, I don't know, I'm very anxious now. What if I've missed all the good books? So I'm gonna go in. I was gonna take my camera, but since there's so many people, I might just take some clips on my phone and then upload them after this, because the main reason I don't do my camera is because, one, everybody looks at you when you use your camera in public, alright? Everybody's gonna stare at you. And two, every time I press like record and then stop recording, it goes beep beep. And I know I can probably turn that off, but I don't want to, because I quite like it that it does that, because then I know that it's recording. But when I'm in public, especially in like a quiet place, like, you know, a book sale or a store or something like that, I don't really want to be like baby and have everyone be like. So I think we're just gonna go with the phone today, and I'll update you soon. Oh, someone else is pulling up next to me. That's cool. Gotta go. Bye. I have my little haul. I managed to get 6 books, which actually isn't bad. I was trying to be quite selective, like I talked about. I made sure, or tried to make sure, that I didn't get anything that wasn't the first in a series, because there were quite a few books that I was interested in, but they were books, you know, 2 or 3 of a series, and I'm trying to not do that anymore. I just had to turn my car on, so sorry if you can hear it kind of running or the aircon going, but it is hot. I do have a few errands to do, so... Oh, cool. as I was saying, I have a few errands to do. I have to go and pick up Mark's wedding ring from the jeweler because we got it resized. I need to get some groceries and I need to take a prescription to the chemist. So I'm gonna go and do those things and then I'll get home. I'll show you my little haul and I can talk a little bit more about like the event itself and how it went. It was so packed, so packed. I will get back to you very soon and talk more about that. Hello again everyone. It has actually been a couple of days. I got a little bit busy and then I had to go back to work, so I haven't had time to film the ending of this video and my like haul section. We are over in the messy section of my room today. I'm just going to ask you to ignore that because my usual filming spot is currently taken up by a couple of little sleeping gremlins and I don't want to wake them up because it feels really mean. So we're going to be over here today. I might have to find something better to sit you on, but here is my book haul. While I get them out, I do just want to talk a little bit about the event. I think I mentioned it was very busy, it was very overwhelming. I'll face you this way a little bit so you don't have to look at my messy drawers. They're on my to-do list today a little bit later after I do this because I was like, it's been so many days, I am finishing this video before I do anything else today. So, other than being busy, it was a good event. I think it was set up well. They had their tables like laid out really well. There was a lot of books on every table. They were all signposted for what like genre of book it was. It was a bit stuffy in there and I am like ended up having to leave because there was not only like books, new and old, but there was a lot of clothing as well, and it was like a very kind of, I think they all just gave off a bit of dust and that set my allergies and especially my asthma off really, really bad. So I did end up having to leave a little bit earlier than I wanted to. I was running out of time anyway, so it sort of worked out well, but wasn't the greatest in that regard. There was like an ambulance team called while I was there because someone did have a bit of a medical event, and I don't know if it was a bit because of kind of what I was dealing with or, you know, mixed in with a bunch of other stuff, but that did happen, so that was one of the main reasons that I chose not to film in there because not only was it super busy and I try not to get other people's faces in my videos, but obviously there was some form of medical event going on, so I was just trying to stay well away from that, mind my own damn business, and yeah, just not be in anyone's space, I think I did really well. I restricted myself to 6 books, which ended up costing me $21, which doesn't really make much sense to me because as far as I can tell, these books aren't marked with any sort of price. And what I was told by 2 of the workers at the tables was big books, like big books and like this, were $2, littler books were $1. So I was expecting to pay about $12 each, especially since they're not marked with a specific price. I was told obviously if they were marked with a specific price, that's what they were. If they weren't, they were either $1 to $2. So I was kind of expecting around that $12 mark. Ended up paying $21. Obviously, $21 is not bad for 6 books in any regard, and all of the books that I got are in pretty good condition. I'm not mad about it at all. And it goes to charity. So in the end, what's $21? I'm just saying I was surprised and there was a little bit of miscommunication around pricing at the event, so just part of the review. Let me see what I've got. I tried to get things that were like from different genres because I do read like a lot. Obviously my favorite is sort of like fantasy, science fiction, and I'm getting into like crime thriller quite a bit, but I don't try and limit myself to those things. I like to kind of keep it a bit broader because I'm the type of person who can really just like tunnel vision down one thing and just only do that for the rest of my life, so just trying to keep things a little bit broad. I don't even know where to start. Okay, actually, yes I do. Okay, I got these 2 because I've heard of them, but I've never read them, and I was like, if I'm only paying a couple of bucks, we'll see how they go. So, first one is The Girl on the Train. Now, this was like real big years ago now. I want to say like 6, 7 years ago now. I remember, I think like both my sisters and like a bunch of my friends really got into this book. I had absolutely no idea what it is about, because I never looked into it, I never looked anything up. If you're going to learn anything about me, it's that I don't like things that get really hyped, because I feel like they're going to let me down. So, like, it took me years to watch Game of Thrones. I think all of the seasons bar the last one were already out before I started watching Game of Thrones. Ended up loving it, but I don't typically watch really, like, hyped, really popular things because I don't want to be let down by them. Like Stranger Things, not a fan, thought that was a flop. Wednesday, good, but again, took me ages to watch it. I'm gonna give it a go. Hopefully it's good. And following in the same kind of thought process as this one, I got Paper Towns by John Green. Now, I haven't actually heard too much about this book specifically, but obviously his other books are very, very good. The Fault in Our Stars is one of my favourite books of all time, and earlier this year I read Looking for Alaska for the first time. Absolutely loved it. That book fucking destroyed me. I will talk a little bit more about it in my end of year wrap up that I do with my books, but holy moly, I loved that book. So I'm hoping that this one's going to give me like the same. I have loved Fault in Our Stars since I first read it in high school, and I would read that book like a million times over. It's kind of like a bit of a comfort thing to me, and I think Looking for Alaska would be the same. I feel like I could just read those books back to back, so I'm hoping that this one holds up to my expectations. If it doesn't, I'm going to be really disappointed. Please come through for me, John Green. Okay, 4 left, and they're all pretty random. So I don't know where to start. Maybe this one. This one's I only picked up because I had a different crime thriller in my hand, and I was iffy about whether I wanted to get it or not, so I was just holding on to it for a little while I made up my mind. And then the lady who was next to me at the table was like, oh, if you like crime thriller, you should really read this. It's very, very good, very popular. And I've heard of it a million times. It's Postmortem by Patricia Cornwell. Not necessarily this book that I've heard of, but Patricia I have heard a lot. You see her everywhere, hear her name everywhere. She has such good reviews. But again, it's one of those things that I'm so tentative to try out in case it's a disappointment. But one of the things I guess I really love about book fairs is that you will quite often, and it happened to me multiple times throughout the day, of people see what you're looking at and they say, oh, if you like that, you're really going to like this. And I love that. I love that people do that. So a lady did that to me, and she told me, oh, you know, this book, obviously this book, would be really good for you. And I decided, you know what, I'm iffy on this book that's in my hand, so I'm going to put this back, and I'll just take this recommendation, and I'll try it out, because what's the harm? And then I did the same thing to her, because in front of us was a copy of The Kite Runner, which, if you know me, is one of my absolute favourite books of all time. I love The Kite Runner, love anything by that author, they're all stunning books. And another girl was next to me when I said it, and she seconded me. She was like, absolutely, yes, you should read that book. And I think that woman took The Kite Runner, so we kind of did like a bit of a book swap. Love it. I hope it's good. I feel like it's going to be good. I read the back. Honestly, I kind of just like going into things blind and just giving it a go. One of the things that I was restricting myself to when picking books was that I was only allowing myself to buy things if they were the first in the series, because I found a lot of books, but a lot of them were like the second or third in the series, and I used to do that and just buy them and be like, oh, I'll find the first one later, or I'll collect all of the books in a series before I start reading them. That's how I had like 20 of the 30 Raymond E. Feist books, and I've only read the first 3 because I didn't want to read it until I had all of them. Really trying not to do that now. I've kind of pivoted, and now I am buying the first book in a series, reading it, and then if I like it, I will find the rest of the series. So hopefully this one's really good. I've been told it's really good, so we're just gonna go with it. Okay. This one, again, you're probably going to think these are like random, but this is just stuff that I'm really interested in. This one's called Fly, The True Stories of Courage and Adventure of the Airmen of World War II. And I just thought this looked really interesting. I love true story stuff, and I like to learn about, I guess, just people, like what people experience. I really love like biographies, autobiographies, and I just thought this sounded really cool. It's got like old pictures in it, and I'm so eager to just learn exactly what went down from the point of view of the people that were actually there, not like a retold story or something like that. So I think this one's going to be really interesting. At least I hope it is. It literally says at the bottom, these stories are by any measure extraordinary, and that's a review from the Sydney Morning Herald. So I'm stoked that I found a book like this. I love books like this. There was a book that I read in high school that I got from like a book fair, but like one of those school ones where you pay for it and it gets delivered. It was called Disaster, and I don't know who it's by, but it literally was just this book that had like little stories and basically like factual bullet points of like all of these disasters that went on around the world, and they categorized it to like volcanic eruption, earthquake, like plane crashes, boat sinking. And I know that's really morbid, but I am so interested in that kind of shit. Like, I read that book to death at the age of like 13 years old, and I've just been like that ever since. Like true crime, like accidents. Oh, air crash investigation. That show was my shit. Love that stuff. I'm saving what I think is going to be the best one for last, but this is another kind of like out the gate one. I can't say that word. But this is the story of one of the guys, or a person, I suppose I can't say one of the guys, because lots of people end up doing it. But it's a guy who ended up in one of Bali's prisons. I think he served 10 months, I think, by just like a quick squiz. And I'm just so interested in reading, again, his story, his experience, what went down. And I think it's got pictures in it too. Yeah, it does. They're upside down for you. But that's fine. Like, I'm so interested in this kind of stuff. There's this show on Netflix where this guy who was wrongly imprisoned in Britain, I think, ends up out, obviously. Can't film a TV show if you're in prison. But he goes around and he stays in, like, the most notorious prisons around the world so that he can experience them, and then they, like, document that. Another show that was also my shit. Can't remember what that's called. World's Toughest Prisons? Don't quote me on that, but I actually think that might be it. It's on Netflix. You should definitely watch it. Great. Another sort of thing that I'm absolutely just enthralled by. So I can't wait to read this. I'm hoping it's going to be like jaw-droppingly wild, because I know some prisons from watching that TV show, some prisons around the world are just absolutely wild. I'm so keen to read this. This is my last one, and this one's kind of like a bit, I don't know. I don't want to say like odd for me, because I try and read everything, so is anything really odd for me? But I think the cover of this is beautiful. Again, this is another one I'm not going to try and say, so I'll just let you appreciate it for what it is. Now, it's hardcover. I don't usually do hardcover books unless they're beautiful. And typically hardcover books are, but they have to be really special to catch my eye. The pages on this are gold, which again, like, can't go past it. Really struggle to go past books with edges painted. And I think it's written from the point of view of like a young girl, obviously, on the front, but it's written in like diary entries, sort of like The Colour Purple, and I loved The Colour Purple when I read it last year. So I'm kind of hoping this is going to be like my 2025 version of The Colour Purple. I had a really quick squiz at like a little bit of it, and I'm pretty sure it is, and it just looks so interesting to me. And even if it's not interesting, it's beautiful. This is probably the book that's in like, I want to say like not great condition, purely because like you guys probably can't see it, but there's a little bit of damage to the edges of the pages and the hardcover and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't even care. I think it's beautiful. I also love everything about the like Asian cultures, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, all of that stuff. Want to learn more about it, and one of the best ways to learn more about it is to visit, but I'm poor. So reading about it, watching shows about it, all that shit, I'm into it. If you have any recommendations of stuff that would help me learn more about it, hit me up, because I will watch it. But yeah, those are my 6 books. One of my little creatures has left, which means I actually have enough room to sit down on the side of the bed now. Thank you, chicken. Oh, hello. You awake? Are you awake? Say barely. Not really. Okay, back to sleep. He's like not having it today. That's it. That's me really. I liked the event. I was a little bit overwhelmed, I think, purely because it's the first one that I've been to of that size, but when it comes back next year, I'll know what I'm going into. So obviously I won't have to deal with that again. It was still really cool. I had a good time. I was there for actually not very long at all, only like a couple of hours, maybe 2 max, which is quick for me. So yeah, I think it was good. I'm not mad about what I paid for the books. I think they're going to be great reads. I can't wait to get into them. I just have to finish what I'm reading now, and it's honestly like the biggest drag. I'm so tempted to DNF it, but I don't do that. There's only like 2 books that I have ever not finished, and one of them I have already repurchased to go back to. It's school time, if you can't tell, because all the cars are going past my house, which means that's all you're going to hear in this video. So I should probably wrap it up. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment down below. And if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe. Also, if you have any book recommendations based off what you know I've read in the past or what you've seen me purchase today, please leave them in the comments as well, because I'm always looking for new stuff to read. I'm a very slow reader, but I don't mind if my to-be-read pile is like 75 feet long. So yeah, please do that. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.